Hey, what's going on, guys? Matty A here with the Six Figure Flipper, and today's video tutorial training is how to set up your MLS keyword searches. This is a great lead generation strategy for really little to no work. It's free depending on whether you're a realtor or not. If you're a realtor, obviously you're paying MLS dues. Therefore, you have a little bit of some overhead as an expense to utilize this strategy. But if you're not, and you have a real estate agent set this up for you, it's absolutely free. So we're going to run through real quick some very quick steps on getting this set up, and then I'm going to do a quick training tutorial in my MLS system so you can see the generic setup of how you would go about inputting keywords and keyword phrases into your search portal so that you get notified anytime one of those properties hits the market. So setting up your keyword searches for property deals. Step one is really you're just going to go into the MLS and you're going to set up a custom search that enables you to select specific criteria of the house that you're looking for. So you can select one or a combination of things. The more things you select and overlap, the more narrow your search results are going to get. The more broad and generic your search is, the more wide your search net is going to be, and it gives you the ability to choose based on your preference. So for example, you can choose the bedroom, bathroom count, minimum square footage, style of the home, the zip code, district, county, whatever it may be. Like I said, I like to leave it as broad and generic as possible, as well as leaving basically most of the sections open and using the keywords, specific keywords to narrow down the search for me. Step two is when marketing for the listings, you can put in a property description that the public can see, or you can, the agent can put in specific remarks that only agents can see. And this is really the section that you're going to want to use the keywords to put in either public property description or confidential agent remarks. And when you put those in there, that's where it's going to scrape to see if any of those keywords are attached to any specific MLS listings, and therefore it will identify whether or not it should be in your search portal. Step three is once you have all of your keyword searches set up, which you want to have as many as possible for all of the unique keywords that you are looking to be identified of when those hit the market. Be sure to then automate that system so that you are getting these results immediately or within the hour, or you can customize it if you want it at, noon, if you want it every day at the end of the day, whatever it may be. I like to have it be as up to date and accurate as possible. Therefore, we can move in there as quickly as we need to catch on to the hot leads before everybody else does, and that way you can move quickly. So example keywords and phrases to use in your searches. We have a complete MLS keywords packet inside the Six Figure Flipper, but here are some great example keywords and phrases to use in your searches. If you're looking for a foreclosure, you can see here by putting in the property description or the confidential agent remarks, owner occupant, bid, cash only, renovation, financing, Fannie Mae, home path. These are all trigger words that are associated with foreclosure or REO properties. Keywords or phrases for finding rehabs or remodels, right? You would think of the standard remarks of fixer-upper or TLC, repairs needed, contractor special, houses with code violations or liens, investor offers only. These are all keywords that are associated with properties that generally need rehab and remodel, and therefore usually have sellers who understand that or who are in a motivated situation to negotiate a deeper discount when selling the property. Keywords and phrases for finding motivated sellers. These are general terms that are associated with individuals that are motivated, maybe under the gun or, in a situation where time is of the essence, right? And so you can identify some of their motivation through some of these keywords. Real review all offers, seller financing, owner financing, court ordered, vacant, assisted living, will consider all offers, right? These are all keywords that will identify motivated sellers. And before we dive into the quick little tutorial on how to set up your actual keyword search, so you can see what I'm going to do in order to set up your own keyword search similar in your MLS system, here are some additional strategies for finding a needle in the haystack, right? Because the MLS is very saturated. It's where a majority of investors and buyers look for their properties, therefore the most competition, and you got to get real creative in how you structure your deals or find your deals and negotiate them in order for them to make sense and beat out all the competition. So here is some quick little strategies that you can use in setting up your MLS keyword search systems. So setting up to be notified when a property comes back on the market after falling out of escrow. This is a great way to circle back on properties that you may have had some interest in the beginning, and now you can put a backup offer in and maybe renegotiate with the seller who might have fallen out of escrow. They went through all this time, energy, and effort to only have the buyer back out or have the buyer do a price reduction less than maybe what you were going to offer originally. So usually when they jump through all these hoops and have an investor not follow through, it makes them very skeptical of putting the property back on the market, going through the same process and jumping through all those extra hoops. And therefore, by having and putting in backup offers, you give yourself to kind of jump in line in front of all of the competition before they actually put it back on the market and kind of let the feeding frenzy begin all over again. So being able to be notified of when they're back on market is a great way to circle back on properties or to make pending bring backup offers before they actually get onto the MLS. It's a great way to get ahead of your competition, and most people aren't using this strategy, right? So by being notified of these and making this a part of your lead generation strategy, you can better put yourself in the position to win, or at least to get your offer reviewed before they go and review other offers or put it back on the market. Another strategy is search for houses built before 1980, or you can choose, based on your market, whichever houses may be considered quote unquote older, right? If you're in a, in a newer community that has been built from the 90s on, then you are, that 1990 and newer may be older, right? Or you may be in a market where, most houses were built in the early, 19 to 1940s, and anything built after that is still considered relatively new, and you want to only look at houses before 1940 and newer. Whatever houses are considered older or may have, deferred maintenance due to their age, you can do custom searches that way. And searching for properties with high days on market is always a great way to, hey, just throw in a backup offer or throw in a lowball offer. And the worst response, obviously, that you're going to get is no. Or sometimes they may counter you, or they may, be willing to play ball and engage with you based on how long they've been sitting on the market or what their motivation might be. You never know when someone's motivation is going to meet the price that you're willing to offer. As long as you can perform at the price that you put out there, I never really feel too bad about making lowball offers, being that it's just what my investment criteria allows me to. And this is a non-emotional decision for us. And therefore, searching for properties with high days on market is a great way to potentially identify some leads that homeowners who initially turned away a lot of people because they wanted a specific price, over time they get worn down and they may be a little bit more open to negotiating or playing ball. So with that said, that's a very simple, brief overview and analysis of how you can set up your MLS keywords and some strategies for when you're doing that. And right now, what I'm going to do is pop into my MLS system. And like I said, it may be a little bit different than yours or from the market that your agent is plugged into. However, this is a generic, approach and can be laid over really any MLS system. So with that said, let's dive in and check out how to set up your MLS keywords inside my MLS. Okay, guys, so how do you set up your MLS keyword search once you're in your MLS? Well, just know that every single MLS system looks a little bit different, however, has many of the same capabilities and features. So for the purposes of this example, I'm just going to walk you through how I create a custom search for one of the particular keywords or phrases that I want to know about in order to create a portal that will scrape the MLS for this particular phrase or keyword. So if you're in the MLS, you can see up here, usually you're going to have some kind of toolbar. In mine, we're going to go to Contacts and Prospects, and we're going to create a new contact. So in here, it's going to ask for some very basic and general information. And this is where realtors will usually put in a custom search portal for a potential client or prospect that may be looking for properties with them. So for this example, we'll say Joe Schmo is our contact name. He's active. He's a buyer. And in the groups, being that it requires me to fill this out, I'm going to put personal for myself. If this was an agent setting this up for you, they're probably going to put prospects or clients. So let's get OK. And then I'm going to put my email address in. So we'll say Matt. And that's the email that you want these set up to. So like I mentioned before, set up the search portal to send these properties to a specific central email that either you can utilize just for analyzing MLS deals or getting leads sent over to, whether it's from a wholesaler or something from your website, right? Have one central email that is just for deal flow. That way, whether it's you, someone on your team, a virtual assistant, they know exactly what email to log into. So as we scroll down here, one of the key features of this is auto prospecting. And auto prospecting is we want it to scrape the MLS automatically and prospect for these kind of deals in this search portal for this particular client, therefore myself. So send an email to the agent. If the agent wants to be notified, great. If they don't, they're just going to leave it on no. Send an email to the prospect. Yes, anytime there's newly matched listings that hit and trigger some kind of search and plop it into my portal, we want to make sure that we are notified of that. So that way, whoever's underwriting the deals can get in there, because the great leads, the hot opportunities always go quickly. So we want to make sure that we're giving ourselves the best chance to get in and look and research these leads. So if you want updates on particular things, you can check those boxes in here. So if for some reason we want to know price changes or status changes, whether it goes pending or sold or whatever it may be, we want to be notified of that, right? Or if it goes price reduction or price increase, we want to know of those things. So that way, anything in our cart that is meeting the criteria we set up, anytime one of these triggers happens, it will notify us. Send an email to the CC. No, email report format. So we can have it in a particular format that we want to review. So whether it's a client full with the additional photos, summary, whatever it may be, you can choose how you want to view them. I want a full report on all the properties, so I have as much information as the MLS will provide me. Daily auto prospecting schedule. You can put daily. You can even open it up and check out some of the other features that are available to you. You can do it hourly. You can really customize it to the exact way you want the search portal to send things to you. So what we'll do here is leave it on daily. And then we're going to want to set up client portal. This is important because you want to make sure that your client has the ability to log in and actually see their portal and what's in there. So instead of just getting emails sent to them every day, they can actually go in and scrape through their portal themselves. So for cart maintenance, it says keep only listings with the following statuses in the client portal and the prospect cart. So listings and statuses that aren't checked will be removed. And this is important because this basically allows you to customize what properties with these certain keyword searches will stay in your portal and will be removed out of your portal. So for example, if you only want active properties, then you're going to select all the active properties and you're going to deselect everything else. So if any of the properties that have keywords that are active, active release clause, active short sale contingent, active court approval contingent, if they don't have this status and they happen to be temporary off market or pending, or if they go sold, they are going to drop out of your cart. So for this example, we only want to see properties that are active. Now, if you were just setting up a custom search, for example, that you just wanted to see with certain keywords the only properties that were pending or pending bring backup because you want to look at the properties that maybe less of your competition is looking at and submit backup offers, well, then that would be how you customize your search, right? So for this case and example, we're going to leave everything on active because we want to only look at properties that are active. Now, I always deselect active short contingent because that means that they're already really in escrow and they're just contingent upon short sale approval. Same thing with court contingent, but if you want, leave them all on. It doesn't hurt. There's generally not too many of the contingent approvals that are available anyways. However, it'll just give you a better idea of how large the group is that you're searching for. If you want to do reverse prospecting, which is basically putting in your criteria and then anything that meets your criteria gets reverse prospected into your cart, you can do that here as well. But we're going to just, for this example, just do the actives, okay? And then if you come down here, you send client portal activity report to agent. That's if they want the report to be sent to them. You can select that, do it hourly, once a day. We're going to leave it deselected, being that I am the agent. I can come in here and look at this as frequently and often as I want. So let's save this search, and our very first search, let's set up. We can do a custom search, we can do a standard search, we can do a map or a radius search if we put in a specific address and say we want X amount of properties around this, right? But for this example, we just want a standard search so it will scrape the entire MLS. We want to cast as wide of a net as we possibly can. And on this one, we're going to do short sale, okay? So I usually will categorize the search based on whatever triggers or keywords I'm most likely going to put in here. And that way it just gives me a better idea of how I can categorize and really simplify the search process when I come in and look at my portal after having multiple searches set up. So if you're going to do one for fixer, if you're going to do one for foundation repair, if you're going to do one for water damage, I will generally put the search name as the keyword or the keyword phrase that I'm going to be putting in the search terms. So we'll submit this, and now it's going to come up with a standard search, right? So if you were to go in the MLS and search normally, this is the window that it would pop up, and now I can get as specific as I want. And so this is where you can see now you have the ability to kind of cross-pollinate and overlap some of the keyword terms and phrases with the specific criteria that you're interested in. So for this case, I only want residential, single-family properties with one house on the lot. Now, if you were looking for residential income properties, or if you're looking for a condo or whatever it may be, you can see that you have the ability to choose your criteria right in here. Now going back, I can go in and select all the properties that I'm interested in finding. I only want actives for this case. And if I want to put in a particular area or a specific price point or the specific year built, maybe I only want bedrooms and bathrooms of a certain size. Like I said, for this example, I want to scrape the MLS with as wide of a net as possible because the keyword phrases and searches are really going to narrow down what kind of search results we get, being that there's not going to be that many of them. So I want to leave these general terms and specs open for the case of what I'm looking for. That way I can get as large of a pool as possible. If you want to narrow it down and you only want specific properties, this is where you're going to input your search criteria. Cities, zip codes, counties, and you can see here status date, change date. So any of the things that you want the MLS to pick up on, you can customize this really as deep as you want to, okay? So in the search description, this is the key part right here. In the property description, which is public, which is what consumers and buyers will see on syndicated websites and looking into the MLS, the things that they can see. And then here is confidential agent remarks, which only agents can see. And this is kind of the back end notification or comment section for agent to agent communications in regards to a specific property. So this one we are doing short sales, correct? So I'm going to come up here and I'm only going to say that I want to search active short sales. Okay. Actives pull up all of the normal properties. We just want active short sales. We'll do active short sale contingent as well. And down here, and if I want to preview how many active short sales are in my market, I can see right now that there's only 65 active short sales basically in these 5 counties. So that's pretty limited inventory, right? So before I go in here, I might do fixer with this short sale and see how many pop up. Now only 7. So there was 65 short sales originally that are active that you can see here. And just by putting in fixer, there's 7 fixer short sales that are active. Now I can view my results, and I can decide whether to send it to me, right, the person, or your agent can decide whether to send you a copy of this initial invitation to open your portal for Joe Schmo. And right now I'm just going to say send later. But what it does now is it pulls these 7 listings that meet my search criteria for this particular example and puts it into newly matched. Now me as the buyer can come in here, and if you want, your agent can select all these and recommend them to you. It'll notify you. Then you can come in here and review and search and go through them and see if any meet your criteria, if they're worth going a little bit further into the analysis and underwriting process, right? And now, if this is one that I like, for example, I'm going to take this and I'm going to save it. And you're going to see here now 6 are newly matched and 1 is saved. And I can go in there and look at it. If I don't like the rest of these, I'm going to take these and say, you know what, these don't really meet my criteria, what I'm looking for, on to the next. I rejected those 6 and I still have 1 in there. Now, to give you guys an idea of the portal, right, we selected only ones to stay in there that are active. So as this property gets an offer, it's only been on the market for 6 days. If it gets an offer and they accept it and it goes pending, pending is not something that stays in our portal, right? So it's going to drop out and we're going to see this saved go back down to 0. And the nice thing about having these portals set up is, 1, you only get to look at properties that you think are going to meet your criteria, but 2, you're going to get to see how quickly the market is moving and how fast they're going into contract or falling out of contract, right? You're going to start feeling the pulse of the market just by staying in tune with the properties that are coming into your search portal. And these are all properties, obviously, that are going to be investor-related type properties. And so you're going to see how fast the real estate investing market is moving for your local area. So this is a quick way that you can set up your own search. Now, for example, if I want to set up another search, what I can do is I can come back in and I'm going to add another search. So for example, this one, I'm going to do foundation. So for foundations, I'm going to do the same thing, right? You can come back in here, pick all of your search criteria, and I'm going to put in the description, foundation. And we see here 13 pop up. Let's just see what it would be if I did confidential agent remarks and see if it's any different. So we have a few less. So if I were to click this, it's going to ask me if I want to send it to myself again. We'll send later. Now I have 11 new properties that talk about in the confidential agent remarks. This is an REO property, recommended proof of funds and pre-approval letter. Property sold as is, see foundation articles. So that's the keyword that it picked up on. And this is probably a property that might be worth looking into, depending on if you were to run your max allowable offer formula or run it through your flip calculator. You could see, based on what you think you could sell it for and maybe the amount of work that you're seeing here from the pictures that might be needed, reverse engineer based on your investment return that you're looking for, what your max allowable offer is, and see if that's anywhere close. And then if it is, and it's something you want to research a little bit further, let's go ahead and save this property and put it into our saved folder. So this is a quick and easy tutorial of how you can set up keyword searches and phrases in your MLS, or you can share this video with an agent who is doing this for you. But just know that by going back into your profile, you can set up as many of these searches as you want. And I recommend setting up one individual search based on the different combos of keywords and phrases that you decide to use for every single keyword and phrase. That way you have as many tentacles out there, many lines in those ponds that are lead generating for you guys in the MLS. So we want to have as many branches off of the tree trunk that we can in order to find as many leads that might meet our criteria. Now the MLS, being that there's the most competition and the most buyers, investor buyers competing for the same properties, you got to know that you're going to have to look at more deals on the MLS. But like I said, the more ways we have for lead generating and identifying potential prospects and hot opportunities, the more we can underwrite them and the more we can make offers, and through our follow-up systems give ourselves a chance to convert and get those properties under contract. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial on how to set up your MLS keyword searches. And if you have more questions, feel free to put those in the comments section below.